fans of franchises you may love to hate, let's dive into the latest episode of The Mandalorian to discuss our feelings and things. But first, spoilers and such. First things first, if you're a fan that loves to hate watch Star Wars, you're probably ready to light yourself on fire. But Guns for Hire to me felt very George Lucas-esque, so take a deep breath and calm down. Everything about this episode had George's influence, which is no surprise considering BDH's connection to the maker. It was full of weird. It looked visually different than most of the live-action Star Wars shows we've seen. It even featured a story within a story that provided commentary on society. If anything, it felt like one of those oddball Clone Wars episodes from years past. So while it may not have lived up to your headcanon, it's far from being the pile of poo-doo some fans are claiming it to be. Isn't it a bit of fun to be surprised by an episode of Star Wars? Isn't it okay if the plot doesn't follow exactly what we've all been speculating or wanting to happen? Personally, I appreciate how this season has bucked the Mando formula and has mostly kept us guessing what the ultimate endgame is. It's been too easy to see where the story of Din was going in the past, but thanks to him completing his mission early in this season, we've been treated to a fresh slate of sorts that has allowed us to experience the Mandalorian people and culture in ways that past seasons have avoided. It is called The Mandalorian after all, so the fact that this season is pushing forward their collective narrative is fresh versus just focusing on the lovable dad and son pair in Din and Grogu. Again, this episode was fun purely for how unique and strange it was, and in the end, it most definitely moved this season's overarching plot forward. Sure, it was surprising that nothing was mentioned about Gideon's escape or how the New Republic is processing the fact that Mando's helped, but one must trust the creatives. Christopher Lloyd's cameo did seem a bit underwhelming, but again, this is more than likely a case of being more disappointed because his character wasn't in our headcanon, and his inclusion in this season has been known for some time. That happens. Headcanon can get dangerous though. Don't let it sour something new just because your version of suspected events doesn't play out. This season, many fans are turning on the same people they once proclaimed as Star Wars gods, which isn't surprising with this at times awful fandom, but I ask you all to showcase some patience. Let the season play out before you judge it as a waste. Solid storytelling is taking place, you just have to trust in the process, or come to terms with the fact that you really don't enjoy Star Wars after all. I have spoken. Alright, how about some top moments? I'm starting with the introduction of Bombardier and the Duchess. The cameos were definitely surprising and cool, but this scene stood out to me mostly because it embodied the zaniness of this episode and Lucas's flair. What a visual spectacle to take in for a fan. There were a plethora of aliens, reformed troopers, royalty, wild-looking alien drinks, and food. It just felt like vintage Star Wars and is easily the most unique-looking and feeling scene from this series. Up next is the B-2 chase, but Din gets an honorable mention for bullying them to see if one would break. The chase itself, though, was pretty rad. Who knew B-2s could sprint like that? Maybe they should have done that more during the Clone Wars, but either way, it was a cool little chase and reinforced the detective show feel this episode had. Finally, let's honor Bo's challenge. It's exciting anytime we get to see Mandalorians interact and deal with their various traditions together, and this duel was no different. It was a cool little action segment that reinforced how damn skilled Bo is at pretty much everything, and why she has always been a leader. But more importantly, and I know some of you are broke over this, I appreciated how efficiently it put the Darksaber BS to bed. Din has never wanted the thing, nor to be the leader of Mandalore. Hell, even in this episode, he still could barely swing the thing, so it was never meant for him. It is meant for Bo, at least to honor tradition, so the fact that she now has it and earned it righteously, even if Din had to litigate that fact, allows for the Mandalorian reunification plot to move forward in earnest. Therefore, the final 2 episodes can be fully dedicated to the retaking of Mandalore and the inevitable confrontation with Gideon's forces. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it and subbing to our YouTube channel. We'd also love for you to join in with our weekly Star Wars podcast. So use the links in this video's description or head to StarWarsTime.net to subscribe to the platform of your choice. There's always time for Star Wars time, and remember, if you listen to the Star Wars Time show, the Force will be with you, always.